Hey guys, I hope y'all are having a wonderful week. Obviously, by the fact that this video is so late, I'm struggling, but it's okay. I'll make it through. Yesterday was great. I got a lot of things accomplished. Just about everything off of my to-do list got checked off. There was just like a sense of accomplishment in that, and I felt like I was achieving something. But the way I actually did that was incorporating those things on my to-do list into my life, realizing that I had been trying to incorporate my life into my to-do list. And what I mean by that is doing things as I had time for them. So it kind of meant that there were times where it was like, okay, I could watch this, or I could sit down and do this, or I could go do a load of laundry real quick. Or like when my son was sitting down to eat his snacks, I was like, well, I could sit here and just talk with him, or I could go pull out the vacuum cleaner and vacuum this room. And he loves it when I vacuum, so that's something that we can do together. So taking those chores and kind of doing them with him and kind of organizing my schedule to where things could be, because the one thing I don't like is I don't want to set him in a room and try and get everything done without him, because that just ends in chaos, and that has been a big struggle I have. Being a first-time mom, I'm trying to compartmentalize my life and be like, okay, this is wife stuff, and this is mom stuff, and this is me stuff, and I'm learning that to make life work for me, I've got to figure out a way to get it to all work together and not say, okay, well, this is when I live my life and I get, I do all the fun stuff, and this is when I get stuff done, and this is the serious part. It's got to kind of all mix together, and that helped me. It was just taking little moments, keeping that list in my mind of what I needed to get done, and just throughout my day, whenever I had a moment or there was just a time where there was nothing planned, where, it was my life came first, and then in the little gaps, I was able to throw in those things and just reaffirming to myself, like, you can do this, you have the strength to do this, like, you don't need rest, because that's one thing I'm constantly telling myself. I did this, I need a rest, because I'm so scared that I'm gonna run out of energy and I'm just not gonna be there for the rest of the things that I need to do for the day, like take care of my son, like the big important things that can't be put aside. So I'm like, let me rest so I can make sure that I'm not just, falling asleep later. And I think a lot of that carries over from my newborn days, where there were days where I was literally just passing out. But I think I've grown beyond that, so it's just retraining my brain that it's okay, my battery's not just gonna run out of juice and I'm not just gonna power down. Now, getting up early was a totally different story. It has not happened yet. Yesterday I got up 1 hour earlier, which it's baby steps, and I kind of kept that in mind, that I want to set my goal high, but also my low bar I still want to be higher than the bottom. But today I actually slept in a little bit. I wasn't feeling too great this morning. I really knew that I needed to rest and give my body a little bit of grace, because it wasn't going to happen today. I just did not feel good. So I gave myself that today, and keeping in mind that tomorrow is a new day, and I'm just going to keep trying at it, and eventually I'm going to get closer to that goal. If I can just chip away at it an hour earlier a week, or whatever I have to do, I'm just going to keep it as a goal. And so eventually my brain's going to be like, oh yeah, this is that thing we want to do, we're going to do it. Because I'm learning that if I get discouraged by my shortcomings, then it pushes me further away from my goal. The more I talk down to myself, the less I feel motivated to actually achieve it. Joy gives me that expectancy, so I'm excited. I feel like I'm going to accomplish my goals. I tell myself, hey, you're going to do it tomorrow, and that next day I'm like, hey, I remember I said I'm going to do this. Like, I was excited about it. It's better to come from a place of like pride and excitement to do something for yourself, to accomplish something, than feeling like you're going to let yourself down if you don't do it. Yesterday was emotionally draining. I had so many imaginary conversations in my mind that I had to pull myself out of. I struggled so much with choosing joy over and over again that I got to the point where I literally couldn't, like, it was like my brain was hardwired to go a certain way, and every time I pulled myself out, the second I let my guard down, boom, those thoughts were right back up there, and before I knew it, I was back in those imaginary conversations, and I was feeling all of these emotions. So I had to stop and evaluate my emotions, and what I found I did not like. But sometimes the only way to let go of things is to find out why you're holding on to them in the first place. So yeah, that was Monday for me, and today not much is getting accomplished, but that's just so far. I'm continuing, you know, even me filming this video is accomplishing something. It's something off of my to-do list. No, it didn't happen when I wanted it to, but instead of being discouraged, I'm just continuing to push towards those goals, and that's been my biggest thing, is just remembering that just because I didn't hit it in my set time that I gave myself doesn't mean that I should just give up and move on to the next thing. Just to keep striving for it, no matter what your personal timeline looks like. It kind of reminds me of people who run these 5Ks and these big marathons. I don't actually know anything about marathons, so I don't know how long a 5K is, but I'm sure it's too long for me. You know, these people, they pace themselves, and they're not just there to win first place, because there's hundreds, sometimes thousands of people running in these, and there's only one first place, but they keep going. No matter if it takes them hours to get to the finish line, they still keep going, and you hear all of these amazing stories. You know, I've heard more stories about the people who took longer to get to their finish line than I have ever heard about the first place winner. And that's because you learn so much to see that perseverance. And so applying that in my own life, it's just remembering that it's about the finish line, but it's not about first place. It's not about getting there as quickly as possible. Just doing what you can to get there is what's important. So for the scripture of the day, I am once again veering away from the YouVersion Bible app, and I'm using my Bible Promise book. And the scripture I'm using for today is Psalm 18:31 through 32, and it says, "Who is God except the Lord? Who but our God is a solid rock? God arms me with strength, and He makes my way perfect." So take some pressure off yourself. Remember that we are not God, that we were never expected to do everything on our own and figure it all out, but that this scripture says that God arms us with strength and that He makes our way perfect. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.